we should be live. All right. You guys all good to go? You can hear and see and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Billy, I am at work, so if I might have to go unexpectedly.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
It is what it is. If you guys want to follow along with the chat, you can. Just make sure you mute the you just mute the video. Manolo, he's already here. Says hello. What up, brother?
What'd you name this video, Billy?
Dawg Fights 6 Lead Up Podcast.
There it is.
Jeez, come on. I'm glad you figured it out, Tony.
Yeah, I think that once you sent that link in my text, it worked fine. I don't know what it was.
So it worked through the text, not the messenger?
Yeah, well, when you first sent the link, it must have took a few minutes because I couldn't even click the link in my text, but finally it turned into a link and it let me click it. I don't know. So,
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it works. Yeah, I mean, he's zooming a while, so for sure.
Tony Stansberry, what's up, big dog?
What's up, Tony?
The Drew 24, what up, big dog? Dog Fight 6 Lead Up Podcast. Let's see here. Manolo said just finishing cardio. Cutting for the Jason Vale tournament. Awesome. Heck yeah. Okay. And I am running so far behind. What more? Copy, paste. Paste. Let's go. Okay. All right, we're shared to Facebook at least. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the show. Everybody watching on the in the chat. We got us, I think 7, something like that right now. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the East Ohio Arm Wrestling Podcast, and this is the Dawg Fight 6 Lead Up Podcast. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kevin Palco.
What's going on, everybody?
Also, we got Mr. Tim Lewis.
How we doing?
And then Mr. Johnny Jarrett.
What's going on, guys?
So we might have a few other people coming in and out. You know, we'll see what happens. I don't mind other people coming in and, you know, being part of the conversation. It's no problem with that. So if you'd like to be on the call, just send me a message and I'll send you the link as much as I can. sometimes it works. As Johnny found out earlier, it takes a little bit of trickery sometimes to get it to work here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got dog fights this weekend. Kev, you want to kind of go over where it's at and what time and stuff?
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar with dog fights, it's basically a super match card. I think we got 8 super matches scheduled this time. And afterwards, it just turns into a giant practice. Everybody's able to come up, meet the competitors, try arm wrestling for the first time. And this event is also open to the public. So if anybody's interested in arm wrestling, they've never seen it before, I encourage everybody to come out, give it a try, watch it. I think you guys will enjoy it. So it is this Saturday, May 4th. At Inner Circle Gym in Wellington, Ohio, and the start time is 3 p.m. The super matches usually take an hour and a half, I'd say, and then afterwards you can stick around as long as you want until the last person leaves the door.
It's definitely a good time, and I encourage if anybody's watching, if you haven't been to a dog fight, I encourage you to come and hang out. Meet the athletes that are part of the event. Put your elbow on the table if you haven't ever done that. It's a great time. A lot of people there that are willing to show you what arm wrestling is all about. So
for sure, we got people there from the very highest level of arm wrestling all the way to somebody that it could be their first day ever trying it. So that's what's so cool about these events too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think I was at 1, and then the last one, I think 1 and 5 I was at.
I think so.
Yeah. They're fun. They're definitely fun.
Yeah. A big difference from dog fights 1 to dog fight 6. So they're getting bigger, they're getting better every single time.
Oh yeah. What do we start out with? Three matches on the first one.
Yeah, and it was just at Onyx, didn't have any spectators. It was pretty much just like what was the Cleveland arm wrestling team, and then I think some of your team, Billy, out from East Ohio.
Yeah.
And we had like just a few matches set up. It was really small. And now we got people traveling from different states to get here. People asking me all the time, trying to get matches. So it's definitely getting bigger. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime I see you post on social media about a dog fight coming up, I know there's at least a dozen guys messaging you within 15 minutes saying, hey, can I get a match?
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it happens anytime there's any super match cards, strictly super match cards. And just, this is what I've seen. If there's a super match card, like a dog fight or one of the, Garage Wars or Badger Battle, anything like that, you get messages right away, because I think a lot of guys just really enjoy the super matches, the best out of 5, they have something to train for, and specifically somebody to train for. Tim can tell you, it is really awesome to have actually somebody that you can focus on and learn about them and train for them and stuff. A whole lot different than the tournament pulling.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys like the spotlight too, where, if you have a big tournament, you can kind of just get thrown into the matches, and some people might see the match, some people might not see the match. They don't know if you won, they don't know if you lost. At dog fights, it's just you and your opponent on the center stage. Everybody's watching, and I think a lot of people like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like the dog fights too, because like everyone's right up, all the guests and just people watching are pretty close to the action. They can actually see what's going on, especially with those bleachers and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's something.
It almost reminds me of like a dual meet, like high school wrestling versus, an all-day Saturday event where there's like 6 matches going on and everybody's like more into their pizza than even knowing who's wrestling. But it also, like you said, Kevin, you're in that hour and a half to 2 hour range. So
Right.
like you're holding and keeping everybody's attention. Like even some of these like, you know, lower level matches, people that have been in the sport a year or less, like they're getting, you know, the same attention that, you know, like me or you would. And
Yeah.
I feel like that is really important too, because like, you know, a lot of times those guys like go to a tournament and, you know, they kind of do that class like right away, and you know, they don't feel like they're getting kind of as many eyes on their matches.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's another cool thing too is, I mean, if somebody knows that they have a match, they can tell all their family, they can tell their friends, and they could have 20 people there watching. Where at a tournament, sometimes you might just have your significant other, your parents, a friend, a teammate. I mean, when you have a one-on-one match, I'm telling everybody, I'm telling my parents, my friends, you know, coworkers, I want as many people there watching as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to put this in the chat, the Zoom. I think that worked. Oh, nice. I think I got it. Trying to, how do you pin these things? Oh, I got this stupid heart thing in the way. What the heck? Trying to pin that to the top of the chat, but it won't let me because of the other dumb thing there. But yeah, just like Tim was saying, I mean, it's definitely easy to get lost in the mix, you know, in a tournament, you know. So I'm not saying that everybody just wants the attention, but it is nice to actually have people pay attention to your match. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's people starved for attention, like, oh, look at me, look at me. I just think it's like a respect kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You know, men asking for a little bit of respect is nothing wrong with that at all.
Not at all.
It's appreciative. I appreciate whenever people watch the matches for sure. I wonder if Drew's still here. Drew, if you're still here, could you tag that to the top? I think. How do I do this? I think I got it. Okay, pin message. There we go.
Yeah, and that's what Dogfight started out as in the first place. Was it was supposed to be for a lot of the newer guys.
Yeah, exactly. I
They
remember
were just,
talking about it. Yeah.
you know, they were coming to practice, and a lot of times at practice, we're not doing ready goes. It's just a lot of slow pulling. They weren't getting a lot of experience. And then they would go to a tournament and they would get flashed or they would lose, and they'd come back and they'd be like, man, what the heck do I got to do? And in arm wrestling, it's just reps, reps, reps. The more reps you get, the better you're going to do on the table. So just getting those ready goes under your belt and stuff is, you know, the most important thing. And that's what I wanted Dogfights to be was, hey, let's get these new guys into a scenario where they're actually getting ready goes. They're actually getting a feel for what a real match is like. And I think it's helping a lot of these newer guys improve big time.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Just in general, in a general sense in arm wrestling. To some degree, do you think that certain guys, I'm not just saying any certain, just in general, do you think younger pullers are straying away from tournaments because the availability of pulling out a dogfight type event is there? Do you think the tournament numbers have been low because of these, or do you think it hasn't affected it?
Not that I've seen. I mean, I know a lot of younger guys do like the super match format because that's what we see. We see East versus West. We see King of the Table. You don't see many mainstream tournaments. But I mean, look at Winter Blast. They had the highest attendance of all time for tournaments. So, I mean, just as the sport grows, I think it seems like everything's growing. More people are going to tournaments. More people want super matches. And I think just more publicity in general is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. the more
I
options
think
these
it
guys have.
depends too, Kevin, on the kind of tournament because Winter Blast, Michigan State, Cody is actually going to Arizona State in June. Like those tournaments are very established. Like,
Yeah.
We know that there's going to be, 200, 300 plus entries. And sure, maybe like one class might only have like 5 or 6 people in it instead of like 14. But there's no gamble there. A lot of these other local tournaments, like the reality is like you don't really know what you're going to get. I mean, sure, there might be 75 or 125 entries, but like your actual class might be good, it might not be good. And like I know like Hunter is like one of my newer guys, and like unfortunately the last couple events that were like within a couple hour driving range did not have a very good turnout in that particular weight class. Now, others did. The tournament overall was successful, but I think there's definitely a little bit frustration. Like, think of the women. Like, how many times do they go to a tournament and there's like one other woman or like, and I mean, we all know that, but like, think about it. If you're excited for 3 weeks for something, 4 weeks, and like you drive 3 hours and like spend all day and like you get one match against one guy twice.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean like tournament arm wrestling is a problem. It's unfortunate that like we can't get big turnouts everywhere.
Right. And it's been like that forever. I mean, it's not something that's new, because I remember when I first started, I didn't know what tournaments were big, what tournaments were small. And I would just show up to one and there'd be like 2 other guys in my class. I'm like, man, this was a waste of 3 hours or whatever.
But I get a lot of questions now. I get a lot of questions from people. They're like, well, what do you think about this tournament or that tournament? And like, I don't really like to answer that question directly because what I'll tell people is like you never really know what any turnout is going to be like, until the day of anywhere. But like I will tell them historically where the higher entries have been.
Right.
Like I will mention Michigan State. I will mention the Keystone. I will mention like Winter Blast. Like, but all these local ones, like, I mean, I'm going to go to Christina's tournament on June 8th.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I realistically can't tell anybody what the turnout is going to be there in any class because this is the first time she's doing the event.
Yeah.
So like I'm hoping it's good, and I'm sure she'll be near 100 or maybe a little over 100. But I don't want to be that guy to vouch for something and then kind of like, well, what the heck, Tim? Like there were only 2 guys there. Like I'm very straight up. I'm like that could be a possibility anywhere.
Just confirmed. Myself and Chris Wood will have a rematch at November 2nd at East.
That's good. Right-handed only, or
yep. I'm giving him a rematch because he made the fatal flaw of taking a match a week before our last match. So
yeah, that was one of the better matches that we've had at Dawg Fight. So I'll be looking forward to a rematch.
Yeah. So we're going to go at it November 2nd. So I won't be pulling the tournament on that one. That is a pain in the butt trying to run the event, pull the tournament, ref. That's tough. So I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for doing that. It makes
now. Did you guys pull once already in a super match, or
pardon?
was it a tournament?
No,
Did
I
you have a
pulled
match
Chris
with
at the
him
last
once?
dogfight. Remember
Oh, okay.
the last dogfights we had a match. Did you catch that, Tim?
Yeah, he was shaking his head.
Oh,
I
okay.
did, yes.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it was definitely a good match. I'm gonna be honest, Chris. If you're watching, I know you're watching. I could have finished it a whole lot faster. Let's just say that. So I'm glad that you're going to be fresh this time. Ain't going to be no excuses. That way I can put you down even faster. I'm waiting to see the comment.
It's beginning already.
I love that, man. We have the best banter, which is fun.
Mhm.
But
Connor got a match with Bryce there coming up in 2 weeks.
yeah, I saw that.
Bryce Meadows versus Connor Irons. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's kind of go over Kev, I know you did your prediction video.
Yep.
Let's kind of talk about the matches. Let's go through the matches and see if anybody has any other thoughts on the matches. We'll just go with that.
You want me to start with anyone in particular? I got them pulled up here. I don't know if you do or not.
Just go ahead and just start them. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and start with Clint Melee versus Anthony Vargas.
Nice.
I think
that's probably going to be a close one.
I think so too. Like, both of these guys are so similar. Same age, same height, weight, build, hand size. And I think both of them have, like, they get the butterflies before the match, the nerves. So I think it's going to end up being a really good match.
So we were talking about this last night a little bit with my group at practice, and they seem to really want to give the edge to Clint on this. Pretty significant.
Yeah. And this is like what we were talking about earlier. Both of these guys are maybe just over a year in the sport, and look how much excitement is going around the first match of the card. You know, this is supposed to be like the start of the event, and yet we have so much excitement behind, you know, I don't want to say it's a small match, but it's the first match, and, you know, both of these guys are going to get big exposure off of the match. So I hope I hope it doesn't go like 3-0 either way. I really do hope it's like a 3-2 and they're just fighting it out the entire time.
I think if Clint can I know how Clint likes to set up with a real vertical forearm. If he's able to get that and get into his spot, you know, I think he has a good chance of getting a few rounds. I'm not sure what Anthony's hand is like right now, just because there's going to be so much pressure on his fingers at the start. So depending on, you know, Anthony's hand and wrist, man, I tell you what, if he could curl Clint in, it's going to be an easy 3-0. But if he can't, then he might be, you know, fighting like that a little bit.
Yeah, I've
seen him do. I've seen him fight in that position, and you know, he's done okay.
Yeah, I haven't practiced with Anthony in a while, but the last time I pulled with Clint just a few days ago, he felt pretty strong. So
I would give Clint the advantage in the straps as well, I think.
Yeah, that might be true.
I would say Clint too. The biggest thing with Clint, he likes to hit hard, but then he'll get way outside his shoulder when he's trying to pin, and he just can't finish a lot of times.
Right.
So he needs to readjust. And
yeah, that's something I try to work on him with is, you know, once you hit to that pin pad, but you don't get it right away, you have to keep that static pressure down there. Because a lot of times guys will hit and then they'll come back up to center and they'll lose everything.
Everything they gained.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. If it stops, shoot, that is going to be a close one if it stops. if it doesn't stop, if Vargas takes it right to the pad, it's going to be a 3-0. But if it stops, I think Clint might actually take it possibly. So,
Well, we'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting
find
one.
out in 2 days.
All these matches are great. I love them.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I know most of the guys, so it's fun.
That's another good thing about these is there's people's time invested in each one of these matches. You know, I've got time invested in Clint. I've got time invested in Vargas. You know, I've gotten time invested in a lot of the guys.
Chris,
On the card.
I spent a lot of time with Chris.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I don't know much about him, but I seen he won Billy's event and I just seen he won Stump Cruise event. So,
Well, Rich is still the favorite. Like I'm being honest. Like, but if you would have told like a month ago, Chris had less than a 5% chance. Now I want to say it's maybe 65, Rich. He's figuring a lot out. Like his table IQ is really starting to develop a lot. Like I don't think quite as much as Martin's yet, like relative to weight class, but like it's starting to get close. So
let's just go ahead and go to that
let's
match.
just go to.
You want to go ahead and introduce that match?
Yeah, Rich Calero versus Chris Miller. And Rich, he actually told me he wanted to be like first or second on the card. So it's good that we'll just get into it now. And obviously, I got to go with my guy, Rich. I train with him every week. He never misses practice. So I got to go with him as the favorite. But it's always interesting to see a new up-and-comer going like at the high level to see where they're at. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Chris can do in this match.
Yeah, I will be I don't want to say anything disrespectful. I'm going to be shocked if Chris can get a round off of Rich. It's just going to be like Devin and Levon. You know, you're rooting for the guy to get some wins because you know he's so far behind in the percentages. So it's like, man, you're really rooting for him to get a pin, but it's highly likely that Rich is going to take it 3-0. But man, I tell you what, let's see if Chris can pull out a couple rounds, or even you never know.
I think Rich either wins 3-0 or Chris actually starts becoming the favorite later on. Like, I think if Chris wins one, I think he's going to find a way to win the match. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I think it's either Rich 3-0, like, over.
Right. Are you able to give any insight onto, like, how Chris pulls? Is that something you want to give away, or?
Look at him. No.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
If you're watching,
Kevin's over there. Hey, Rich.
I mean, you can watch our match, there's a lot in that, but honestly, he's starting to learn more week after week, So
I went up to their place maybe like a month ago, and I really spent a lot of time with Chris and Martin, on their table IQ, moving positional awareness and where their strengths are in relation to their hand and stuff. And I tell you what, man, I could see everything moving in their heads. I'm like, man, these kids they're just sucking in the information. It's just so awesome to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like sometimes you can teach somebody over and over and over.
Oh yeah.
And in your head, like you're trying, but in your head, you're like, man, this person just ain't getting it. And then some people, they're like a sponge. You just tell them, soak it all in. It's crazy.
Yeah, for real. Martin especially, he's the one that has really pulled in all the information.
A lot Yeah.
And I think Chris is right there behind him, but yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see
I'll
what
be
happens.
interested in Martin pulls Greg Arnold at the next event.
Yeah.
That's going to be real interesting. I
Mhm.
really think by
Mhm.
then.
He's coming. His trajectory is going, the first year you make so many gains, just from learning,
Yeah.
So it's like at whenever we first set up that match and Greg accepted it, I was like, okay, well, Martin maybe has like a 1% chance to win.
Right.
I was like maybe 10 or 12, and then by the time June comes along, it might be maybe 20%.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is with Greg's hit, it's going to be hard for Martin to win. But if the match stops, you never know what's going to happen.
Martin's a strong boy. He's a strong boy.
He is.
So back to the match. Johnny, you got anything you want to say about that? The Rich
No,
match?
I mean, I know Rich pretty good. I don't know the other guy at all. I mean, I've seen him pull maybe one time. I watched one of his matches, but you can't. It's hard to tell. I just know with Rich's experience and strength, man, that if he has something for Rich, he's there.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm pretty much saying Rich 3-0 also,
Didn't you
but
say
we're
Kevin?
rooting,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we're rooting for Chris to make it a match,
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm
Didn't you
sure
say,
Rich
Kevin,
is also.
Chris asked for this match with Rich. Didn't you? I thought I heard you.
think so. So
Okay.
Martin Mullet's the one that got a hold of me, and he said, I think he said Chris wanted to pull Rich. So
Nice. Oh, good.
Whew.
Man,
that's a big ass, boy.
Yeah. I guess you gotta see where you're at real quick.
Yeah, no better way to find out though. That's for sure.
I'm 3 years into it. I wouldn't even ask for a match with Rich.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't want to embarrass myself. But hey, I mean, you got to have the confidence to put yourself out there.
No, that's good. Yeah. You look strong. That guy looks strong. Chris.
Well, he's definitely strong. He's got a nice thick hand too.
Yeah.
His hand is wide. Like a pretty wide hand. And if Rich doesn't have that long of fingers.
Yeah,
Rich has got a small hand.
To get around.
Ooh. Oh boy.
If somehow he can contain him, I don't know.
Oh, they're going to the straps. They're going to the straps.
Most likely.
They're going to the straps, but Rich is a hoss in the straps and Chris is a big boy, so oh man. This might get interesting, guys. This might get interesting.
Every match, man, I'm looking forward to. There's not one that it's like,
And that's the cool thing is like I think it was what Billy was saying earlier. We have investment into like all of these people. It's not like some guy that's coming in that, we don't train with them. We don't know them. It's usually mostly people that we know, people close by. And then, like I said, we do get people from out of state every now and then that we, they're usually higher level guys that we've watched and seen before. But for the most part, we are, we know all these guys and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the personal investment that we have in these guys it's not to be taken lightly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like our time is the most valuable thing that we have on this God-given earth.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we spend hours and hours and hours with an individual, you really, really want to see them flourish,
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. I'm excited for that one. Go ahead with the next match. What do you got next?
All right, let's do Tracy Heyer versus Nick Sterry. So I know Nick, he's been training with you lately, Billy, right?
Man, he's probably like 2 months down here with us. And not every week, but there was I want to say out of 8 weeks, he's been there 6 weeks.
Nice.
And every week it is, okay, what do I do if I get into this position? Okay. He's really thinking, about his table awareness, and being smart, learning the correct position that he needs to be in if the match goes a certain way. So he's really working his angles and being smart on how he holds.
He came, Billy, from a primarily powerlifting background, I believe, first. So he was always pretty strong.
Yeah.
Mhm. He's got really good power if his hand could handle it. That's the thing with that I want Nick to really develop is he's got a longer hand, but it's like a thinner hand. And once he builds it up, like once he watches Kevin's how to build bigger hands, once he watches that about a dozen times, I think, dude, I'm telling you, he might be really good because he's not. He's not. He has very good table IQ for the amount of time that he has in the sport. I think he's fairly good. So, man, I got 6 weeks invested in Nick, so I'm hoping Tracy makes it a match. Yeah, I don't know what kind of training Tracy's been doing or anything like that, but
I train a lot with
Nick
Tracy.
sounds pretty good.
Tracy's left arm is his strong arm, but his right just came up big time. I know now, Stary, is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
He's got that wicked press. I know he's got a real quick press. Is that his main move, or is that just something he can do? Is he more traditional puller now that you've been working with him, or does he
I think Nick can pretty much pull
anywhere
now in any position he can.
Mhm.
Whether or not one position is better than the other, I
Yeah.
mean, we all have that.
Yeah.
But I think he can pull in any position at this point.
Yeah.
It's just he's got to be smart about it,
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be exciting. That's Tracy knows he might go anywhere too. He knows there's a press there. He knows he can go anywhere. So we've been working on that press a little bit, trying to defend that. So
Yeah. Gage said that Tracy's hand is getting very strong.
oh
And I
yeah.
remember he has a pretty large hand, I do believe, didn't he?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's for yeah. I mean he's came a long ways quick too. When he started, he didn't have much, and I think I don't know how long he's been into it, but he's definitely one of them fast progressors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was for Dog Fights 1, and I was working with Tracy up there for that.
Mhm.
And it was only like maybe 10 minutes, practice point. I could see him the light bulbs were like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Shoot. Man,
Tracy's one too, like, 'cause I get a lot of like newer guys that will show up to my little practices and stuff. And like you were saying earlier, someone was saying how you try to explain stuff and it just kind of, you can tell they're not even paying attention. It doesn't sink in, but he listens and I like teaching people when they're taking in what you're saying. And Tracy definitely absorbs a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed too.
Man, I think these boys are going to end up headbutting each other. This is going to end up being like a bloody mess, like the hardcore match that they just had over in Canada or Ireland or whatever.
Yeah, should we make this a thumbtack match?
Oh my goodness,
man.
these guys are going to be right there, and they're going to be whacking each other in the head, man. Jeez.
Oh man.
Because I know Tracy likes to crowd the plate, and Nick's doing the same thing. I'm excited to see this press v press. Because they're both going to end up in the freaking Kings move. I can see it already. They're going to be like this.
Yeah. Go into a press.
We're very strict on the Kings move here at Dog Fight. So So I did post the rules the other day. That is one thing I forgot to add in there was the Kings move.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
that. What are you going to do? Are you going to do like we normally do? Just say if you give them one command, if they don't come up, then you stop the match.
Yeah. So like with the King's move too, if the arm is fully straight, that's always a position I don't like too much. Like, I mean, we just seen Dave Shea roll his bicep in that position. So arm fully straight, we'll stop it. And then if you're just in like a good King's move, but then your humerus goes into that negative position, you'll get one warning to come up. If not, we'll stop it. So I'll have to add that into the little rule book that I made.
For any matches that I don't have somebody invested in, I can down ref for you, Kev. if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah, I think Rob, he's going to help us ref, and then I'm
Oh,
not sure.
beautiful. Well, if you already got it handled, then
Well, I got one ref, which is Rob, and then usually it's just a spur of the moment. Hey, can you help? Can you help? And so
You mean J Rob, or you mean?
no, Rob Ingold.
Oh, okay.
yeah, dude, I tell you what, Robbie's gonna be good as a ref. You know, the
Yeah,
more times he does it, every time he does it, it gets better and better.
Yeah,
Did
because that
he
one
get
time
certified now?
we just had him fill in at that last dog fights. Hey, Rob, can you ref? And he did really good. So I think he likes doing it.
Yeah, I send him all the information and everything, the reffing training seminar videos and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
he's looked over all that stuff. And,
Oh, awesome.
You know, I've talked to him, you know, on the phone about everything, about the reffing and everything. So I think Robbie's going to do very well at it if you let him. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Filthy Animals Arm Wrestling Club. No Queens move. What up? I wonder if that's Brian or if it's
Yeah, I'm not sure who runs that page.
yeah. I can't remember who has
Juan or
control.
Brian. Yeah.
I think it's Brian. I think Juan gave it to Brian.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't heard much from Juan lately, so
I texted him not too long ago or something. I can't remember. Oh, Anatol messaged me. Let's see.
uh-oh.
What's the link? Sorry, I don't click random links. It's Anatol. Link to the oh boy. I wish I was a faster typer.
That's one skill that I'm glad. When I went to high school, they made us take a typing class. That's one of my best classes I've ever taken, I think.
They like stopped doing that now. I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, well, now that everything's going to phones and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, typing was one of the best classes I ever took. Because or else I'd still be using my 2 fingers to type like that.
I'm like 4 and 5 fingers. It's like these 8, but I only use like, you know, 2 at a time, you know, and it's either or, you know, not very good. My wife, she can really put the words down.
Do you know how many words you can do a minute, like about?
Oh my goodness. When I was in school in the typing class, I was able to get like, I want to say it was like 45, 45 words a minute, but
Yeah,
it might have not even have been that. It might have been like 30.
right. I think I got somewhere around 60 is if I can remember.
Ooh, dang,
I
son.
remember because to me
Dude,
it was
that's
like
quick.
a competition. Every day we came in and we would do the same. They'd have like some kind of story that we had to type, and it was the same one every day. So every day I'd be like, I got to get faster. I got to get faster.
Obsessive much?
It was, yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's Brian. Brian's got control of that YouTube.
All right. He's got a big match this weekend.
Yes, he does. Cody Smith said typing class to build them hands up. I mean, Dexterity.
Yeah, the top of your forearms.
Mike, we will get to that. That'll probably be one of the last matches we talk about here. Mike's asking about yours.
Mm-hmm.
Gay said this is an arm wrestling podcast, not typing podcast. But all right, so yeah, what were we getting on here?
We were finishing up Tracy and Nick.
Oh yeah,
Tracy and Nick.
Man, I don't even know, dude. This could go 3-0. It could go 3-2. I think this one's like it's pretty much a crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen until it happens.
It's a coin flip. I mean,
I guarantee you we'll find out after that first round. We'll have a big idea of what's going to happen, and as soon as that round one hits, and then bam, we're gonna understand what's gonna go
Yeah,
down.
but look how much things can change too, because Tracy's last match against Jake Haught,
Yeah.
we all thought Tracy was going to win that pretty handedly after round one. And then Jake, he found a way to come back and he ended up winning 3-2, I think. So, I mean, if we see a round one where somebody takes it, I mean, it could still go either way, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking Nick 3-1. That's what my guess is, but like you said, it could be anything.
I got Tracy 3-1 on that one, I think is what I put.
I'll go Tracy 3-2.
Ooh, there you go. Tim, you
Yeah,
got any
I'll
any
go.
idea on that one?
I'll pick Tracy 3-0 in that.
Dang, come on, Nick. Let's go, baby. You gotta prove these boys wrong. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go Tracy, come on.
I'm gonna bring you know what we need to do? This is what we need to do. We need to bring a bunch of dollar bills to dog fights.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then just start betting $1. Okay, I got $1 on this guy, and then I got $1 on that guy. You know?
That'd actually be pretty cool. Have like
That'd be
everybody
cool.
around the table just throwing money.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be fun.
Like old Bloodsport. You remember that movie, Bloodsport?
Mhm.
Oh, dude, that'd be hilarious. It'd probably be a whole lot of fun too.
Oh, for sure it would be.
Let's see. Hyera arm wrestling. Oh, that's
Tracy.
That's Tracy. That's Tracy.
Big Dog. He said, I'm at EMT school, so I can't talk on Zoom, but can't wait for Saturday. Hope Nick is ready for the horsepower. I think he's ready. Well, he better be
Old
ready.
Nicky Pooh.
Yeah. So Nick's he's my horse. I need him to.
So my guy versus yours, Billy. We'll see.
We'll see. Do not let me leave that place without gripping up with you. It's been forever since BAL 2, I think it was.
Yes.
A year and a half ago since I got to grip up with you.
I'll tell you what, I haven't trained my right for a while. I mean, I practice with it all the time, but my right is feeling better than when I train it just because it's so fresh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, Kev, go ahead and let's move on to the next one.
On to the next one. Rich Martinez and Chad Conrad.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a fun one. I know these guys pretty good. I was going to Toledo there for a while practicing with Rich.
Yeah, well, give us some insight on Rich, because I know he's been in the sport a long time, but I don't know exactly where he's at.
So he's super strong when he gets in his position. Right hand. My right's not my dominant, but as long as I can keep him outside, I had no problem. But if he gets inside, if he put me in a hook, I'm done. So as long as I can keep him outside. Now he's fast though too. If you get him outside, he'll slam back forward, shoot in. Very good. I think this match is going to be won off the go, 100%. Whoever gets their position off the go is going to take that.
These guys weigh? Is it like 76 or?
Well, Chad's a top roller now, isn't he, Kev?
Yes.
Oh, his hand is so strong, man.
So if Chad gets him outside, keeps him outside, it's going 3-0 Chad. If Rich can put him inside, it's going 3-0 Rich. It could be, or it could go back and forth. You know, it just depends where they go.
What weight is that match? What weight class is that?
I think they're both like around 180-ish, maybe. Is Rich that big, Johnny? Do you know?
180. If I had to guess, yeah, 180-ish.
I'd say they're both around that weight.
I am curious if Rich has the ability, like you do, Kevin, that setup that you do in order to not get top rolled, with the deep wrist. And
yeah.
I'm curious if Rich has that ability and if he employs it,
The thing with Rich, you know where he's going. So if you just focus on keeping him out on his hand and keeping him flat wristed, and he couldn't do nothing there. But as soon as he got in, he's strong.
What about straps? Does Can he pull real good in the straps?
I don't know how much I put a strap on with him. I'm not sure. I think we practiced a lot up there without, so I'm not
Gage said
100%
Rich
sure,
is
so.
172.
That might be Rich's way to win, getting the strap.
Possibly. I mean, if you get
If he can
smoked
slip-
right off the bat, you know,
If he
out of
can
the
slip
straps.
against Chad, he's hard to slip against.
Yeah.
Really. The hardest person to slip against is Christian Ashby. I guarantee you that.
Oh my God. I have no luck doing that. That's for sure.
I got a pretty strong hand and I can't even slip out of it.
Mhm.
Crazy. So Rich, if he gets into his spot, game over. But
That's
what
what I
about
think.
Chad? I mean,
'Cause I
does
don't think
Chad have a
can
decent
pull-
hook?
I don't think so. Well, he says he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe it's better than he thinks, but he claims he's more just outside. From a few times I pull with him at J-Rob's quite a few times. And he likes to stay outside for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if Chad has a path to victory, it's definitely staying outside of the straps and staying outside in a top roll. I mean, that's
Mhm.
definitely his
100%.
path to victory. No secret there, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well, they stylistic match here, one in, one out, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
The old hook versus top roll.
Yeah,
that would be a hard
Boxer
one to
versus
bet on
wrestler.
because that could go 3-0 either way to me.
either way.
Yeah.
Right. That might be, if there is a 3-0 on the card, this might be the one that it could be, because it could be 3-0 to Chad, it could be 3-0 to Rich. It just depends who gets their strongest move first.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's faster?
But
Well,
Chad
who-
better be ready because even if he
Who do
keeps
you
him
guys think
outside,
has the speed advantage?
Rich is going to come back in, try to force it back in. That almost like that uppercut inside.
I don't know if Chad really hits hard. I think he's more anticipating a hit so that he can clamp down and not allow a slip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Is he
who knows?
in a dumped position?
I
Low
don't
hand.
know. I'm
Does
not
Chad
sure.
have a decent low hand like that?
What I believe is he always tries to rise and drag.
Drag, a lot of lat.
Yep.
Well, that's just going to let Rich get in on him with his hand like this. High knuckle is just going to let Rich just go right there and just.
I'm trying to be
that's
fair
the
to
thing.
both these guys because I know with Rich if I just sat and contained, as long as I came almost a little bit defensive to keep him outside of his hook, I had no problem then. But who knows?
Yeah, that might
I
not
don't
actually
know
be a
what
bad
Chad's
idea.
able to do. I don't know what Chad can do.
That might be a good idea for Chad off the ready go to kind of do a reverse hit and go
Yeah.
into Rich's
Just
power.
even out a little bit, just to stay into his fingers a little bit.
Yep.
You imagine Rich, anticipating that and then just freaking just pressing right through him. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Chad's
Rich,
like, "What the
he's
crap?
got the experience,
You guys
man.
told me the wrong thing to do.
He's pulled with some top guys back in the day, man. He knows what he's doing. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Chad, he's going to be hyped up on black coffee. So
Oh yeah, love me some black coffee, baby. Gage said Rich is going to win with his speed.
Could be.
Gage is taking Rich.
Oh, I forgot to say, this is a 2-go match. So on the first go, Chad gets to hit first, and then on the second go, then Rich gets to hit. So
Double go, yeah.
yep.
Tim, your guy from June is talking smack on you already.
Oh, what is he saying?
Tim's match on June 22 is going to be a tough one for him for sure.
Oh, my right-handed match with James Matheny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so in May, all the matches I have are left. Like, I'm
Well, that
training
right's
my
gonna be
right.
nice.
I'm
Rest
training my right now. Like, I'm not competing with it. I'm not pulling with it in May. Like, all these matches I have are left. And I'm just practicing and training. And then I have
3 matches coming up in June and July, like later in the summer, that are right. I think he's the second one.
Yeah. Cody Smith said, if his pronator is strong enough, then there's no setting a hook. He stays high and drags. Yep. Gage also said, Rich also trains with a guy with a wicked post and rise, aka me. James said, you better train hard, Tim.
Gage is 100% Toledo. Anyone Toledo, he's picking to win.
The homer for sure.
How far are you away from Toledo, Johnny?
I'm right in the center between Toledo and Cleveland, hour away from both.
Oh,
Right,
that's
right in the middle.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
pretty convenient then.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
It's nice. I can go back and forth. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, what do you guys got for that match? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Chad. No score.
You better
but-
watch this podcast. Tell you what, you better watch
Yeah,
this podcast.
Yeah, a lot of technical stuff that he could have learned here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know these guys as well as the other ones, but I'll go with the experience. 1 Rich, 3-1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Rich pull, man. That dude's freaking strong. Strong.
I'll go 3-0 Chad, but like I said, it could go 3-0 Rich. Man, I like them. I like both these guys. They're both good dudes, so it's hard. I hate picking against them, but I'll just say 3-0 Chad. I think as long as he keeps him outside.
What's
Beater
Chad's
crew.
endurance look like?
It's
Who's
pretty
that?
good.
Chad's got good endurance.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he gets stronger as the practice goes. I saw. That's what it felt like. Where I really got tired. 1 of the 2.
All right, I'm taking Chad also 3-2.
He was practicing like 2-3 times a week there for a while with you and Kevin.
Yeah,
and
he's killing it. Jeez, man.
It's just hard to pick a guy that if you just do this, it negates all his power. That's a hard thing to bet on. So yeah, I'll take Chad. We'll see what happens. All right, Kev, go ahead on to the next one.
All right. Chad's training partner, Lawrence Bell, and
Ooh, big dog. And then who?
Johnny Simpson.
Oh, Jonathan Simpson. That's right. I'm taking Lawrence all day, 3-0.
I got to go with Lawrence too.
Lawrence. I don't know Simpson though that good, so it's really unfair for me to say that. But just I know Bell, man, he'll fight until he's got no fight left.
Yeah,
in him.
right.
So,
Yeah,
He
exactly.
will die on that table.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't
so
seen
I
I
not
think
picking him.
Lawrence has a little bit more experience also.
Yeah, the only disadvantage, I think he's probably like 20 pounds lighter than
Mm.
Johnny.
Oh, okay. Is there a weight? There's a little bit of a weight.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard
So
for
that's
Lawrence
more
to even
than a
make
little
150 sometimes. So
Shoot, Lawrence pulled at my event a week after nationals and looked pretty good at it too. Like I think he pulled 54s.
I think he pulled 143s or something.
Well, yeah, at nationals, but I'm saying
Yeah.
for the Kiwanis event, I think he pulled 54s. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think he got like second or third or something. I can't remember. I'm taking Lawrence. Like you guys said, that dude's a little pit bull.
yeah.
And plus, I don't really see Jonathan very much, so I don't really know what kind of puller he is either. Go ahead, Kev, with the next one, bro.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, Brian Vollmer versus Joey Carciopolo. I think this is your experience versus new guy type of matchup.
Joey's strong inside, but I don't know if he can deal with Brian's hand.
Yeah, I mean Brian, he's good, like really good. So Joey is gonna have a very hard time, I think. But we'll see. Yeah,
many
I think this is another one where it's probably the biggest possibility for a 3-0. I would say Brian has the advantage of a 3-0.
Oh yeah. What how about you and that Joey? If he is in the strap with you, can he lat drag through your hand and pull you to his side?
It's not really through my hand. It's more
Flat wrist?
flat wrist and side. He kind of takes me outside of my shoulder. But
Like
he
stay right here.
yeah, yep.
And does he ever turn you this way? Palm up.
Very rare. Well, he can. Yeah, because a lot of times I'll just try to hold my pronation and he can turn me. He has a really strong cup. So I think his biggest weakness is he can separate. His bicep will separate a lot. So he can jam into a hook and drag. But if someone can stop that, he will open up. If I can put it on camera, I don't know. Like this.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. And then Joey's got how many years experience?
2 maybe. Well, he's been
I mean, that's not,
maybe
he's been doing it a little while then.
I'd say 2 to 3 maybe.
And then Brian's got like I think 3, if not 4.
Probably about 4, I think. 'Cause I think he started about the same time I did.
Yeah, I thought Brian was around a little bit longer than that. So I mean, maybe
Maybe it's 5.
yeah. Well, it's
Dude,
not.
Brian's lat drag is just insane, bro. Like you get strapped up to that dude, and he just goes like this. Just
Yeah, he's got
It's
that freaking Oleg.
super.
Oh yeah, that was that the
Yeah,
brachioradialis
brachialis.
or whatever.
It like connects to the middle of his bicep.
It does, man. That thing goes way. It's such a big forearm right there.
Yeah, it is.
Dude. And Joey's hand, does he have a good hand?
His hand's good. Mm-hmm.
It looks big. Is his hand? I don't even know if I've gripped it. Has he got a big hand? I'm assuming he's got a huge hand. He's such a big dude, but
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
not.
every time I grip up with him, I feel like I have some problems. So yeah, he's got a decently sized hand. But I mean, he can give me problems a lot of times. Like when I did that flannel wars thing,
Yeah. Oh
he
yeah,
went
that's right.
through he went through that 4-man bracket thing, and then I stepped in at the end of that, and I was actually trying, and he went through me.
Hmm.
And that was after
interesting.
all those people in the round robin. So
Shoot, this might end up being a good match.
Is he all
be.
inside, Kevin? Is he all pretty much hook, or does he can he top roll too?
he can top roll too. I just think his go-to would be a hook.
Okay.
All right, let me ask you this. If he gets his hand taken, what is his first reaction?
He'll probably
To
get
separate or to get behind his arm?
He would get separated.
Yeah, I'm taking Brian then.
Yeah.
Taking Brian 3-0.
Yeah, because I don't think he could get risk taken and then like transition into like a flop. That's not something I've really seen from him.
Man, that would be sick if he yanked it out. Oh my goodness. Dude, Brian's match versus Eric Morrison was so
Yeah, that was a good match.
bad.
Yeah.
Dude, that was such an awesome match, dude.
I didn't think he was coming back from that, man.
Dude, that was a quick 2-0, and then man, he
Well,
just made
like
a little adjustment,
power
dude.
difference.
Bam, it stopped. He stopped him right there. It said,
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so
So
this
awesome.
actually might be an interesting match because I think Joey would beat Ernest as well. So
man. Yeah, I'm definitely taking Brian 3-0, but man, I'm
I
hoping.
think I'm going with Brian too, but it could end up being better than we think.
Yeah. Brian 3-1, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds about right. Come on, Brian, let's go, baby. Prove us right. Gage thinks Johnny Simpson is going to take it 3-0 against Rich.
That's a Toledo guy thing.
Toledo guy.
He's just not swinging. No, that's not a real prediction.
Yeah. James said, after I take Tim's right, I'm coming after that left. Come on now.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Some
You
people.
better slow down.
Yeah. I don't want to be too delusional right off the get-go.
No,
Tim's
right.
left is
He
totally
definitely
different.
has a very good chance right-handed, but
Yeah.
left is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Okay, Kev, go ahead on to your next one.
All right, I think we're up to Tim Lewis and Johnny Jarrett.
Oh boy. This is a match that a lot of people have been wanting to see for a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's your strong hand versus strong arm type of matchup.
Yeah.
If I had a guess, I mean, Johnny might take Tim's hand. Tim will get into a defensive position, and it's going to be a battle from there.
It's every single match that Tim's in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every single match, everybody knows how to pull Tim, but is it possible? That's the only thing, is
Yeah.
Johnny able to, establish hand dominance and then
most of my
continue it.
losses are flash. If you statistically look at all my matches in the last 2 years, right? 90% plus of every loss that I have is a flash win out of the straps.
Yep.
Or some kind of win out of the straps where I'm not able to get away or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just statistically speaking, even if I lose my hand, that isn't necessarily oftentimes enough,
Mm-hmm.
They call that a clue.
No, I know. I've seen about every one of your matches for the past 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, every match
so many
I
super
have
matches that the
there,
information's
so, I mean,
there.
it's not like people don't watch the matches. I mean, there's not really there's no secrets.
No, there's
You know
not.
what I mean? Yeah.
And to me, like, you pull some strong ass guys and not taking nothing away from them, but like I feel like, and maybe I'm gonna feel that way too, because what they do, I feel like they're not pulling you right. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people say that, but the question is like who can actually do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people, I think you're right. They just don't get it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's some people that understand what they have to do, but it's easier said than done. Or like maybe they can do it once, or like maybe they get caught or whatever. Because let's face it, like it's hard to replicate. Like you don't have a lot of people that actually pull that way. You know what I mean?
There's no one that pulls like you, Tim. So it's
the ability to just hold right there is just crazy. And then I watched Tim's pinky. I just watched that pinky go like this, and I'm like, oh, there it goes, and then see ya.
And like even, I mean, I think it was right-handed, but I mean, whatever. And like we were at practice, and we were just like playing around in some positions with the right arm, and Martin was like, yeah, like pulling Tim, it's like when you've lost and it's over, like it's so
one of these days, Tim, you're gonna work those hands, and then somebody's not gonna be able to top roll you, and then everybody better just look out. I'm telling you. If your hand,
I don't feel like I need
your arm
to offensively top roll anybody or hit. It's just if I could sit up there at center and not worry about my hand getting taken, you know.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I've told you this before, dude. That would be a massive force, right there. If you could bring that hand up.
Well,
with
and
you.
me and Cody were talking about some of that at Nationals too, and like some things he's been doing more so in the gym than anything else. Like it isn't really table time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you got your pronation a lot stronger, because I mean, you could still get your wrist taken a little bit, but if you have the pronation engaged, you can still pull like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when Tim gets his wrist taken, it's like all the way back like this, and then he has to pull through that. So if you could just, even if it gets cracked back a little bit, but you can hold that pronation, I mean, that's where I find myself a lot of times because my wrist gets taken, but I'm not getting fully flopped back anymore like I used to. And I think that's all due to pronation.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's that outside like that kind of like you're like going like this, so you're like palm forward, and then just bring it to the side. I was thinking the other day, like, would it be worth it to actually put a strap in front of your hand like this, and then go from a pulley over here and actually do workouts, just pull some weight like this.
Right. I mean, that's
I've never seen anybody do the workout, but
yeah, not really. But I think I do a lot of reverse curls, like easy bar reverse curls, and I think that kind of hits the same because you got your wrist back, and then you're doing the reverse curl, but it's not really actively working your pronation.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna try that out now. I'm curious on what kind of weight you could just get nice and tight, turn it, and then just see how much you could pull just like that, like you would on the table.
Like a belt or something like that.
Yeah, just just a karate belt, put it around the back of your hand, and then just like you're, man, I'm curious now. I'm curious. I'm gonna put out a video on it then.
Yeah, put a short out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I'm always 100%. I'm confident in every match I go in. This one, I really don't know how it's going to go. I've gripped up with Tim twice, I think, and they were both for like just a few minutes each time.
Never like really actually pulled. Like it was just
and that's
I was tired or like whatever. And like we never really actually got for a real match before. Yeah,
100%. Because I feel like you just would never. I don't know if it's just you were tired or you weren't giving me anything. Because I know I watch your matches, and that's not what you do in your matches. And it's like, so I know you're
never gonna get. You're never gonna get it.
I was tired from the match I had that day, or like whatever it was. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those guys. Like once my arm gets to that point, I'm not gonna like. Really push it when it's fatigued because, I got to train that week and I got, another match like, a week or two later. So it's just, I don't, I kind of risk, I don't want to risk overdoing anything in like one session. The only other match I saw you had that was really good was that one with Roman Moore. Like, was that maybe a year and a half ago now?
Yeah, I got the first round wind on him, and then I burnt out my hand. We battled for like 50 seconds.
Dude, I was reffing that match. I remember that.
It was all.
I think Tim was down reffing the match. I was reffing the match. I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
It was a hand battle for like 45 seconds, and then I ended up coming. He had me way over, and I ended up dumping my wrist and pushing him all the way back through. But my hand was done after that.
Did you end up in the strap or not? I don't even remember.
Yeah, after that, I tried to go to the strap because I had no hand left, and we got in the strap. But he's so good in the strap.
But you were just gassed, so yeah.
I gassed myself round one. I had nothing left after round one. Because I put everything I had, bringing it back through center in that flop, and my hand was done. I had nothing.
And then when was that? Was that like in the winter? That was like winter.
It was Halloween, that BAL Halloween one.
Yeah,
Okay.
BAL.
So
But
That
did
was the
you
one
do
where,
one other tournament, or there was something you did, right? Since then, there was something, right?
I did Ohio State Championship up in Toledo.
That's right. So that was the one that I missed because I was in Malaysia. So how did you do
Yeah.
that?
I got me and Joel Hudick went. Our first tournament match was against each other. I did get to win on him there, but then I had some other good battles. We met in the finals, and he ended up beating me twice in the finals. Well, I take that back. I technically won on fouls, but I wasn't going to win
You
like
did.
that. So,
Yeah. me and
so he ended
Joel,
up beating.
me and Joel have had good matches in the past too. Like, he has a couple, like I have a couple, but it was always like tournament situation, somebody gets tired, etc.
Yeah.
So, we've never like actually done like, 3 rounds or 5 rounds or anything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, so it's hard to tell. Joel's hand is so damn strong. It's ridiculous.
Do you-
Not his
Johnny,
left
do you
one.
think your hand has gotten better since BAL two?
Yes.
What about your how about your uh can it, how long is it going to last, your stamina and your hand itself?
It wore out fast because I got in them hand battles. You know what I mean? We tried hanging on to each other, and I stopped him way over. He took me right towards the pad, and I stopped him. And I never lost my wrist completely. It was more like we were both flat wristed, and then I felt like I couldn't bring him back, so that's when I dumped and came back through him that way. But yeah, I
No,
don't
I
think
mean
with
now versus then versus now, do you think you've gained any stamina? Have you been working on your
oh
hand
yeah,
stamina?
yeah. I mean, it's probably not my strongest point, but probably more so against top rollers, though. I mean, I think we get them hand battles a lot of times. It just my hand will wear out sometimes. So if you want to try top roll me, Tim, you can try top roll me too.
well, we know
Guarantee you
that's
that's not what's going to happen.
like, I mean, the odds on that. I mean, you might as well like try to pick the Kentucky Derby in straight water. I think you have better odds.
I've seen you get some top. I've seen you top roll guys. I have seen videos out there. I've seen it.
Yeah, but what level are they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That round one's gonna tell a lot to see.
I mean, a lot of things, endurance. Whether or not we end up in the straps. Speed. I mean, I definitely feel like, if you can get a flash win or two in there, that your chances go up. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a very hard match to win without some flash wins.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, one other thing too is Tim's not going to fight you with the hand battle, so your hand's probably going to stay fresh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, and then Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you posted in the rules that all slips go to the straps.
Yep.
Is that correct?
yeah.
So, I
Hey.
mean, I mean, we're just having an honest conversation. So that's different than a regular tournament because I could do whatever I want. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's intentional or not. And I might get called.
Here's the thing, Tim. You can slip. All slips go to straps, but your elbow has to stay on the pad when you slip.
Yeah,
so you know.
that is correct.
I've seen some of your slips, Tim.
Yes. Yes.
This whole shooting out like this ain't gonna fly.
Well, yeah, but like the other criteria, like about like whatever it is, making a fist and like the underneath and like, so a lot of the reason sometimes my elbow goes off the pad is because like I know that if I try to slip too aggressively that it's going to be intentional and I'm going to get called if Leonard's the ref. So, like, for example, the match with Brian at Nationals in particular, like, if I know that I could just slip anyhow, like WAA stuff,
WAL style, like that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a big deal. Like that rule, like honestly, is a huge advantage for somebody like me. Yeah, it's probably one of the best rules I can get. Now that being said, you know, some of the other rules, like the one about slipping and losing position, I don't really like that one so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one about slipping and losing position, I think you said is not a loss. Is that correct?
Yeah, because
I
all
believe
slips
so.
go to straight.
Right.
Yes. So, you know, it's kind of like give something, get something, is how I look at it, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
not
know.
that, like I'm saying one rule set is like necessarily better than another rule set. I mean, you know, I just wish it was consistent everywhere. So like you
Yeah,
actually
that would
knew
be
how to
nice.
train. You know, like it's kind of like the weight class, like how people complain about, you know, well, oh, like this is 220, but this is 210, and you know, California they have 205 UAL, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Tim. You don't got nothing to worry about. This is just a local match. Remember, you told John Terry and that this was just a local match. You have to take no time off. So,
Well, but you know what's funny about it though is I've actually had time off for this.
yeah, I know because you didn't have that match with John, right?
Well, because we didn't. So I did pull that one class last.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I had one little hissy fit with Gerald, and that was it. The rest were easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, 3 matches. I mean that's not going to really tax me.
No, you're so
you
used
know?
to pulling every week anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you would have had a little bit more luck there if me and John happened last week. But you know, not that that's what you want anyway. But you know,
Yeah. That'd be a
my
good match
last
too.
match was when I pulled Rich.
Oh yeah.
That was a couple weeks ago.
That
Yeah,
was the 13th. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then the 20th, I didn't. I mean, we watched East versus West, and we had a big practice with our team. So I pulled, but I mean, you know, it was practice, you know. And then last week I did the Gerald match. That was it.
We'll see. I got a couple wins on your boys, Tim. Now I gotta face the master here. We'll see. I got that super match against Cody, and I got at least got one win on Roman. So those are both your clients.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
I feel like you're one of the last people like in Ohio that's like really good lefty that I still haven't pulled. That's you know within 10-15 pounds. You know.
I agree with that.
So
I'm going Tim 3-1.
Kevin.
Yeah, I think I'm the same, Billy. The way I look at it is Tim has already defeated Rich, and he's defeated Jason Robinette. And those are like the two top guys left-handed in Ohio. I'm not saying Johnny isn't on their level. I just think they would have had a better shot against Tim and defeating him.
I think right now is number one. Right now.
Who do you think is?
Cody Smith.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
But, and obviously Paul Talbot. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, he's just a question at this point.
That's a thing, too. Like, I don't think Paul or Todd have pulled in Ohio in years. I mean, like,
and they're still on the rank.
More than like 5 years. I don't know their campfire, he said. So it's like, I know they live in Ohio, but are they Ohio pullers? No.
Right.
But yeah. So all right, Kev, go ahead on to the next one, brother.
Yup.
Main event, myself versus Anatol Bursilkov.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah,
He looks
initially, like,
pretty good.
yeah, I mean, this was, don't get me wrong, it was always like a good match that I was looking forward to. And then when I seen Anatol won nationals this year, it just made it like a whole lot better for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes it a bigger match with him being national champion.
So my question is you and Michael hit left-handed?
I don't think I've ever pulled Michael hit left-handed.
Really?
Ever. I don't think so.
Is there any common denominators?
I don't think
He's
so.
from like Illinois, isn't he?
Michael pulls more like Kevin. Like, Anatel really hits hard explosively off the go,
Mm-hmm.
usually in a press, but he also has a pretty quick top roll. Like,
Right.
imagine Greg Arnold with more of a frame, like behind him, but like a 54. That is how I would describe it. Like, he pulls.
Hey
off
guys,
the
I gotta go. We'll talk to
same
you guys
way-
later.
All right. See you, Johnny.
Later,
All right, we'll see you Saturday. Good luck.
Yep, see you, Tim.
He pulls a lot like Gregor, where he can come at you with a press, but
Yeah.
Anatel doesn't flop. He keeps his hand, but it's a press, or it's that quick top. But if he gets stopped, like, he still has something, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, I still think if you stop the match, you're too strong for him, like, honestly. But I think if he can get maybe one in there early, and then he can get one in there and like make it work, that he might have a fighting chance.
Right.
But I think this is like almost kind of how we mentioned Rich and Chris Miller earlier.
Mhm.
Only Anatel has more experience than that. But I still think it's one of these things where, like, if he can get one win on you, that's huge,
Oh, for sure.
you know? So I definitely think it's possible, but I can't see him, you know, short of 3 flashes, boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't see him winning the actual super match.
Yeah. Man, Anatol is just, he can, man, he's so smart on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see him, you know, going through the motions and moving his body and his hand position and staying away from the power. And man, I tell you, but the ability of you, Kevin, to be able to pull without your hand now is just, it's just like Tim is now. Like I was thinking the other day, I was like, your arms are turning into Tim, you know, but to be honest with you, I think you got a better hand, you know,
Right.
now your riser's gotten phenomenally better and your, you know, cup's still really good.
So I
But
think me and
like
Tim.
if you end up there, you just
Right.
right through it.
Yes, like I think. I don't know. I think like Tim has a strong arm in a sense where he could be opened up and still kind of work through that kind of motion. I'm trying to keep my arm closer now. So like I was saying earlier, even if I do get my wrist taken, at least my arm is still close and I can work in this position here.
Mm-hmm.
Where like usually, like if he gets separated like this, I'm not really that good at working from that position where Tim is. But
Well, I'm going to be a lot stronger if I'm closer too. A lot of
Mhm.
times I just can't stop it
right.
until I'm already opened up. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, you do a good job at stopping it when you're open though, which, you know, I'm just saying I'm usually not that good I don't usually stop stuff if I get opened up.
Man, this is all these matches are, man, they're just a crapshoot, to be honest with you. You know, they're either 3-0s or they're tossing up in there or flip a coin.
This is probably the best card we put together yet for dog fights.
For sure. But then again, a lot of them could go 3-0s. We've seen that.
Yeah.
If we get, 3 out of 8, multiple rounds, for each guy or whatever, that's a win,
Mhm.
If you go 5-3, 3-0s, I mean, you're still getting 3 really good matches. Obviously, even though matches go 3-0, they're a whole lot closer than what that 3-0,
Right.
says.
That's what I'm going to say. You can still have a 3-0 that's not 3 flashes. And they could be 3 wars. But that other guy might just have the upper hand.
Matthew Speakman, what up, big dog? Jack, welcome to the call, man.
How goes it?
Going on, man?
Nice to see you. Ain't got to talk
Good
to you in a
seeing
while.
you guys too.
How's everything going with you, sir?
Good. I just decided to hop in so that way there would still be a token firefighter, hanging out.
There you go.
And
You working this Saturday? You gonna come up to dog fights?
I will most definitely not be coming up. I am at work that day. So
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody got to protect us,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Since Cody's not working too. I was like, but I think it's the same thing as Tim and Johnny's matches. You're in Anatol's, almost the exact same thing. But I think, man, you can't go wrong. Just picking Kevin 3-0. I mean, like,
Right.
you've never lost it to Anatol.
If you had to give who had more of a percentage to win their match, would it be Anatol or Johnny?
Win, like, completely, I would say
to win the match.
Anatol probably has a better percentage than Johnny, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But it's not much more. The kind of thing that comes to mind is your match that you had in England.
The probability of me or you actually gas is very low. Okay,
Right.
like these guys have a much
Cody.
better chance.
Party
to get
started,
flash
boys.
wins. Flash wins.
Yeah, the last time I
That's
pulled
excellent.
Anatol lefty was at Gus's Outback. And I
And then
was
you won.
extremely sick that day. And I ended up pulling out a pretty hard fought victory.
Okay.
So hopefully it's the same outcome this time, but I'm trying to avoid a strenuous match because like Billy was saying, Anatol is so good at staying out of people's power by moving on the pad in like good directions and stuff, that even though the match does stop and I have good endurance, he could stop it in a place where I'm bleeding out and he's not. So
And maybe you even win that round, but then he comes back and flashes you after that.
yep, yeah, because it's a lot harder to stop a hit after you're blown up a little.
Yes.
And then you're doing 1 minute in between rounds?
Yeah, 1 minute.
But now, are you going to be strict on that 1 minute?
The last few dog fights we have had, I believe Morgan was keeping time of the rounds in between. So yeah, I think we're pretty strict with the 1 minute in betweens.
I remember when I pulled Jason, they were like, I don't remember that dragging.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I don't know, dude.
'Cause
I might give Anatol 1 round, but you can't go against the big dog.
I feel like he's definitely somebody you don't want to pull and be impatient with. I mean, you don't want to, impatiently try to pin him. He's got a lot of really good defense. I mean, he has really good table IQ. So if you try to just go sheer horsepower straight to the pin pad, he's going to catch you in some weird spots. And
Right.
Hey, hold up real quick. Everybody watching the show, 220-pound number one right and left hand puller in the state of Ohio and national champion, Mr. Cody Smith. Welcome to the show. Thanks for popping on.
appreciate it.
What
Appreciate
a
it.
freaking beast, dog. What a beast.
Thank you.
Beater crew too.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, I know it's coming in. I feel like a Viking now. It's kind of cool. Not a baby face anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we all know who the real Viking is, though. Let's be honest.
Mr. Fenton.
Yeah,
He's the only Viking in Ohio.
Well, in about 20 years, when I work my way up to supers and the beard gets a little thicker,
Yeah, right.
we'll figure it out then.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably maybe give Anatol one, but I'm not betting against Kevin. No.
There's no way you can.
No, and I think people really have to look at, his wins on Mike from a different perspective. It wasn't a super match by any means. I mean, it was a national tournament. So it wasn't just them pulling, a best of 3 or a best of 5.
Right.
I mean, it was, I think Brad Spine was in that class too. Brad's an animal. There were some other guys I'm not too sure of that were in there that were, pretty solid pullers. So it wasn't an easy day for anybody.
Yeah.
And I just think stylistically, Mike is going to gas out quicker than Anatol is, just the way he pulls.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every time I've beaten Mike, like, obviously, if he can flash you, he's going to beat. I think Mike, he could beat anybody in the U.S. at 154 if he flashes you. But his biggest weakness is if the match stops, he gasses out.
Yeah.
With Anatol, he can hang in there, man.
Yeah, Anatol has really good endurance.
Yeah, I don't think endurance is his strongest aspect, but he can hang in there with anybody for a long time.
Yeah, and I've practiced.
I can't just, beat him easy. Like, I'll say that. Like, I just have to work to get through and get out.
Dude, the match that comes to mind was it's Kevin versus Alec Guth in November. Dude, if you do that same thing with your left, dude, Anatol's going to be in trouble. I mean,
right.
I mean, it was close. It was close. You were an inch above that pad, but it did stop there. And then
I don't think Anatol's going to be able to get me down that far to the pin pad.
Yeah.
I think the match will stop, but it'll be close to center table. It'll be like in between 10 and 2. For him to get me down any further than that, I think is going to be really hard. Because the thing with
what about your risers? Right versus left riser, which,
right stronger. My left is a little bit different style though. Like it can, I don't know. The thing with Alec Guth though is his hand was so thick that it was hard for me to grip on. And that's why he busted my wrist back so easily. Like Anatol, he doesn't have a thick hand at all. So I can get good purchase.
So you're gonna be around.
I can get good purchase around the back of his hand. So I don't think he's going to be able to bust me back like Alec Guth did.
Yeah. Yeah, your fingers are farther, Yeah.
He might keep me flat wristed, but
and Alec Guth is also in a much bigger weight.
Right. Yeah, Guth is a big dude. Where like Anatol, he's used to being a 54 over and over.
Yeah, I'll give Anatol 1 round.
Yeah.
That's definitely probably.
I'll go 3-0 me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Kevin. I think it's 3-0 Kevin. I just think there comes to a point where somebody is just too damn strong. I mean,
there's
still very table savvy.
There's still levels, and I think he's on the up and coming. Like he's making strides, but
wait. Is it at 54?
No, we're both like 65. I think we're gonna meet at.
But the
Wow.
weights are very close. So.
Yeah, we're gonna weigh in
Okay.
actually just before the event, and I think we agreed upon 165.
So there's no cutting for either.
Yeah,
of you.
no cutting. And I'm 165 right now. I'm not cutting any weight, and I think Anatol will probably be bulking up a little bit if I had a guess to get there.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe 5 pounds. Nothing.
Can I switch it to a 0.5 rounds? And it's like, dude, like to bet against Kevin is like it's kind of stupid, but you know, I'm just like curious on whether or not Anatol could pull out a round or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's incapable of it.
well, if
He's
I
Yeah,
was
it would
Anatol, I
be like-
definitely would have tried to make Kevin go to 54. I mean, you want that stronger guy on paper to have to sacrifice a little bit to get there. I mean, in a match like that, that could be a big difference. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I know Anatol, he's tried to get me at 54 like a lot of times past, and I've kind of said no. I mean, nothing
Well,
again.
and I mean, it was
All
kind
the-
of like how, how me and Johnny did the thing with the whatever it was, But I mean, that might have been too because of like that's why I have a ranking, honestly.
Mhm.
I know that's what me and Scott were doing. Like he wants the ranking, and if he wants the ranking, then it has to be it that way,
Right.
So I think it was more that than like what Cody's talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, technically, Cody's ranked higher than me now nationally. So, I mean,
Man,
I'm sure
it's
he
a
won.
weird thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he
It's a
wants
weird
the
thing.
Ohio rank too, but he's ranked above me nationally. So, I mean, that's bigger than anything else.
The national rankings to me, I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
place to see where you're at, kind of where you're at. There's so many killers on that list though. I
Mhm.
mean, it's hard to say who is where, and I mean any given day it could be completely different. It's
Oh yeah,
It's
top
very
5, top 10.
subjective.
yeah.
They do their best, but these guys live so far away geographically, like you're not going to see a lot of those matches. Like
Yeah.
some ever, and some maybe like once every couple years.
That's why
Yeah,
I really like what Lorray is doing with, having all these badasses show up at the same place and pull each other the same day. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's, the winner
It
of that
takes
is
a lot
the
of work
best,
to do, though.
at that
It
weight.
takes a lot of work,
Right. And I don't think
gotta
that
respect
solidifies
the
anybody as the
work.
best either. The best that day versus the best puller, it's a weird thing. I mean, somebody shows up with the flu, somebody shows up feeling like shit just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, it happens.
Yeah, like if I was gonna pull Hunter Knobs, I definitely want it to be in another super match. I don't want to
Right.
meet again.
Not around Robin.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's blowing through everybody.
There's a lot
Where
of guys like that.
I'm getting into a 30-second match.
Anybody high level that I would want to pull, even if they would beat me, whatever, I would always want it to be a best of 5 super match. I would never want it to be in a round robin or like a tournament, because I don't feel like I do my best in those environments, But
Kevin, didn't you pull Hunter?
Yeah, I beat
Did
him.
I
I was the last person to beat him in a super match.
I thought so. Was that Tennessee a year ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half
I
ago,
think it's
something like that?
2 years ago now.
Okay.
it
Wow.
was
Yeah.
2 years ago you beat him?
Yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
last year would have been the round robin, and then the year before that would have been our super match.
Yeah,
Okay.
22.
Okay.
You pulled, who else did you pull today? Dalton? Bumgardner?
I pulled him left-handed. He ended up beating me, but I had that match.
Yes.
And it wasn't a pin. I had money bet on that match, and I did not pay it.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right now.
when
I watched
somebody
that
has
last
to
pin, and it was
travel
like,
8 hours and they lose like that, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Was Tim McPherson the ref, or was it somebody else?
I have no idea who was reffing. I'd have to go back and watch that.
Christina.
No, she took herself out of it, I think.
Did she?
She said she was biased towards me because she liked
Okay.
me, so she didn't want to ref.
I know she was a ref that day. I don't know.
I
whose
think
match
she might
She
have
reffed.
ref.
reffed me
I
and
think she reffed
Dakota
the
in that debauchery. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big fucking fish to fry, Dakota. He's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
What does he pull?
He
Does he pull
weighed
242s?
so much. Like his weight was like way over. And apparently it was too in the match he just had with Quentin Murray. Like Dakota was not even close to 240 or 250 or whatever catch weight they had. Like he was more like 280 in that match, you know?
Yeah,
And it
that
was really obvious.
Yeah. And it gets weird too. I mean, you start meeting up with people and you agree on a weight, but nobody actually weighs you in at the same time to where you can see that weight. I've had a couple matches where I
Well,
pulled
and there's
dudes and
all
I
this
didn't see
stuff
what they weigh, but
now.
I'm like, nah.
There's all this stuff now with like this. I don't know. Like I mean, I know Billy. We've talked about this. And, we've kind of like had minor disagreements on this. Like I don't know this whole idea of virtual weigh-ins. Like I don't know how I just did on that because you're still kind of like trusting that like nobody's going to try to get away with anything shady, you know,
Mhm.
which you would hope that nobody would,
You would hope,
you know.
but there's always that thought in the back of your mind, are they?
Yeah, like well, me and Levi, we did virtual weigh-ins for ours, and I just had somebody record me stepping on the scale, and then I sent that to Levi, and he did the same back, so we could actually see that we both weighed in and we were on the weight that we needed to be.
But I mean, it's like how did equal potential? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you know what I mean? Like what people and like I said, I mean, the chances of this are so minuscule and rare, but you just never know. That's all. You never know.
With
They
the
were going to do that for BAL. The first BAL, they were going to do a virtual weigh-in like the day of. And then I remember that they kind of threw that down the drain after like an hour of talking about it. I was hyped because I cut 18 pounds in like 5 days. I was just ready to eat. And they were like, oh, you can weigh in and then drive? Sweet. And then, no, it didn't happen.
Tim, what are we gonna do for our weigh-ins? Are you close to weight, or you got a cut, or
So
what?
I will tell you right now, what I weigh in the morning is 215.
Okay.
So I'm perfectly fine with like a 210, like weigh in, like, whatever you want to do, like virtual or whatever. But like tomorrow night or like Saturday, just say, you know what, like we'll weigh in right before the match, but we just like say add 4 pounds to it since it's like right at that time.
What if we did? You want to do Saturday morning, like before you eat
Like
anything or something?
Like
Just
what
like
times? What time Saturday morning?
whatever time, I don't care. Whatever
Like, let me see. I'm going to my buddy's powerlifting meet in the morning. I mean, you know what? They have like a legit. They have like a scale there.
Mhm.
Like it's a powerlifting meet.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll bring. But yeah, I mean, what about like 8:30 a.m. or something?
that's fine. I'll just send something to
Are
you
you
want to
okay
send it to
with that?
Kevin or something. Yeah, that's fine with me.
I mean, you don't even.
Well, let's
As long as you guys agree upon
Yeah.
it yourself. I mean, I don't.
I mean, as long as we're good about it, Kevin doesn't care.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't care.
I can
Yeah. No,
have my body record it, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? You'll like see it's live.
yeah, no, that's
like,
fine. Yeah.
It's not like pre-recorded or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
And then you just
No,
kind of
that's fine.
do the same thing.
Yeah. You just want me to send it to you, Tim? I'll just send it to you, and you can send it back to me, and we call it good.
You guys got to remember too that those videos are time stamped. Also,
I
You
got
can
nothing
go
to
to-
do.
You can go to the info on any video
What's
that's
that?
and look at the timestamp.
Info?
I do
So how
believe
do you
so.
do that? Really?
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, Tim's getting scared now. No.
I know with iPhones, you save them,
But will it
and then you
show
flip
you
up,
the
and
time that
then
the video
all the
was
information
actually
comes up to
made?
it.
It'll show you the time the video was actually recorded.
I know
In
the
the
ones
day.
whenever I save a video and then I flip up
Alright.
on the screen, and then it'll show me what time the video was taken at what date.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good to know. I mean, I didn't even know you could do that, but
Yeah, for future
Tim-
reference.
Tim just recorded one weigh in and he's used that for like
Yeah, he's used it for every match
Been
last
using it
week.
for
Still
like
making
6 years.
65.
I've actually never done a virtual weigh.
Yeah, I haven't
to be
either.
honest with you.
I should be
The
fine. I was like,
easiest way to do it is just FaceTime each other. That's it.
oh,
It's
we can
the
do that
easiest.
too.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not too worried. As long I mean, I know if you record a video, I'll trust you. It's fine with me. I don't care.
What do you weigh right now?
I was like 210.2 just a little bit ago in the evening.
Dang,
Oh,
that's a
Ate all
big
day.
Johnny Jarrett. Holy crap.
But yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's just do it Saturday morning. That way I can,
Okay.
eat, have a few hours to recover or whatever.
That's
You know what I
fine.
mean? Not that I'm cutting, but
Yeah.
I'll have to like watch a little bit,
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Going to bed Friday night is hungry. Oh man, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the worst. You could lose like 8 to 10 pounds overnight just by not eating dinner, but
Oh,
Shoot.
absolutely.
dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's starting to get hot outside too, and that's when like not being hydrated really sucks.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think I did 11 pounds one time. I just didn't eat after 8 p.m. on Thursday, drank black coffee and water on Friday morning and from, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then cut out the water and black coffee. Didn't eat anything Friday, and then Saturday morning I was like 11 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
You can do it. It sucks balls though. I don't know.
I honestly I think I kind of did something like that when I did I did like 18 pounds for BAL, but I didn't do something right. I got super sick after that.
Mhm.
I pulled Logan Cooper with like 101-degree fever the next weekend. I was just awful shape.
Did you water load?
Kind of, but not like crazy because I was really worried about making 98.
Mhm.
So like I was already like 216. I started water loading and I saw it get up to like 219, and I was like, all right, we're gonna back off a little bit because
Right.
I was on those assault bikes. I was on one of those every single day, just trying to sweat everything out. And then, of course,
I want one of those so bad.
oh,
Those things are awesome.
awful. It's a huge reason why I just quit cutting weight. Honestly, that's a
Yeah,
horrible
exactly.
experience. I don't ever want to do it again.
So what are you walking around at, Cody?
It's weird. So like in the mornings, I'll wake up at like 224. But I'm really hydrated, so like I probably weigh like 228 right now. So, I mean, making 220 is just not drinking a shit ton of water for 2 days, and I'm right there. So making 220 is pretty easy for me, and then making 230 is even easier.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything.
210 is very easy for me, but like making 198, is like I got to do some work for sure.
Mm-hmm. That work is it's more mental and, just, I'd rather, work out for 6 months and gain a little bit of strength than have to cut weight for, 15
The worst was when I made 165s for double.
Oh,
weight.
yeah.
Oh, that was
Didn't you lose like 35
that was
pounds?
the hardest
Like
thing
that?
I've ever done. Paul Talbot too. Oh,
You like
horrible.
fly there to weigh in, fly back to work the
Yeah,
next
because
day.
I was
and
going to
then-
lose my job if I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
They were being unbelievable,
That's crazy discipline too, because I would have lost my job cutting that much weight and having that risk factor. I'd have been like, yeah, there's other jobs.
Well, I
That's
ended up
crazy.
leaving that job a couple years later anyway, but it is what it is. I just got sick of it.
Oh,
Where did you
speaking of
fly
water,
out to?
Alex, he just posted just this past event that we had. He cut 16 pounds
Who did?
in what? Alex Bean,
Oh yeah,
16
that's
pounds
right.
in 4 days, I think is what it was, 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he cut an extra, like he was doing 198. So for our events, we do 198.8 or 9, whatever your scale says. And then he was like 196. I was like, bro, why did you
Yeah.
do that?
It's the worst feeling in the world.
All right,
Oh.
well, I gotta get off here. It's 9 o'clock. I did have another appointment tonight for something. But we'll see you
Thanks,
guys
Tim.
Saturday, Johnny. I'll get a hold
Yep.
of you. in the
Sounds
morning.
good.
Okay?
Yep.
We'll see
Right.
you.
See you, Tim.
Later.
Sounds
Have a
good.
good
We'll see you.
So, all right, well, that's the last match then. Anyway, your match with Anatol right there, Kevin.
Yep, that is the last one.
So I did before we get off the call, Cody. I wanted to ask you, aspirations, man. After winning a nationals, I mean, that really put your name on the map nationally now. Not just number one Ohio. I mean, like, you're gonna have a lot of guys looking at you, even promoters looking at you in the months to come. What kind of aspirations do you got coming up for arm wrestling?
It's really hard to say. I haven't really been able to fully wrap my head around where I'm at either. I know like all of 2023, I was pulling matches and like I beat Landon Anderson at an event, and he's a really good left-handed puller. I got 2 wins on him in a tournament, so I was like, okay, I'm up there, I'm close. And then I had a war with Sam Tabbert. But 2023, I was coming off a shoulder injury, shoulder surgery. This is my right, but still, it kind of affected me mentally.
Yeah.
Coming back from that, I didn't really know where I was. I was just pulling and kind of having fun with it. And then I had a really, really good off season, I think, because from October until April is kind of that big gap of me not pulling. I was just in the gym like crazy, and that and soaking up as much information as I can. Even when I'm not pulling, and this dates back to when I played high school football. Watching film, you're getting those quote unquote mental reps. When you just watch anybody pull, you can watch literally anybody pull from the amateur level up to the crazy professional level. The guys like Devin and Levant. Like you can learn things from everybody, and I think that did a lot for me. But just not knowing where I was going into nationals, it was going to be a good test. I knew that, and then after getting the wins that I got, because I beat Steve Martinez, who was 18, and then I beat Jack Severa, who was number 7. So, and see, that's another mental thing for me. That's weird because it's like, okay, you beat a number 18 dude, and you beat a number 7 dude, so they throw me in the rankings at number 7. But I see killers behind me, and I see killers ahead of me, and it's hard to still gauge where I'm at with those guys. So I don't really have any expectations. I'm going to Arizona State at the end of this month.
Awesome.
And I was going to pull Michigan State, but I kind of want to go down there. I know there's going to be some different level competition. I love Michigan State. I've pulled that tournament the last 3 years in a row, and it's pretty much the same dudes every year.
Right.
So I figured, get the opportunity to go out west and just kind of see where things go. Not really any expectations. It's just going to be pulling the rest of the year and seeing how things end up. A lot more tournaments than super matches is kind of what I'm focusing on.
Right.
I did more super matches than tournaments last year, and I honestly kind of miss the tournament atmosphere. It's fun to me. So that and pulling a bunch of different people.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, you impress so many people. I was screaming at that at the TV whenever you won at nationals. I was like, let's go.
I appreciate it. That was a weird match for me too, because I'm not a presser. I don't try to press people by any means. So having to resort to that, and then not only that, being strong enough and understanding how to do that and execute was another. It was just another step. It's really weird to think about it, but arm wrestling is so simple, and I think everybody overcomplicates the hell out of it. You have outside moves, you have inside moves. You have a top roll, you have a hook, you have a press.
Well, there's a
It's
certain amount of knowledge that you are required to have in this sport. It takes, in my opinion, it takes multiple years to acquire such knowledge, right?
absolutely.
But once you have it, it's second nature, and it's so simple. It's you have those reps in on your body, and it just comes natural, and it's easy to do. But to somebody just coming in, man, it takes a lot of time for them
And
to
those are the guys that I think overcomplicate
understand.
it the most, are the newer guys. I mean, they lose matches in an outside battle, and they think they just don't know how to top roll. When in all reality, they just might not have been the stronger guy that day. They could have done nothing wrong technically, but they will go crazy thinking that they're doing something wrong when they're not. They're just not the better arm wrestler that day.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same with training too. I think a lot of people overcomplicate training. It's like I said, it is a complicated sport, but it's also a very simple sport. And I learned that, like, I trained with Doug for like 3 months, Doug Allen for like 3 months, and I went into it with just having a super confused mind. I didn't know why I was winning certain matches, losing certain matches, and he just kind of sat me down and was like, "Listen, it's this simple, and then once you understand it's this simple, you'll understand the sport." And I don't know. I really think that a lot of newer guys they need to quit trying to replicate the super high level guys so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you see a lot of like the bad Kings move stuff too.
Oh yeah.
And to me it's horrible. I absolutely hate seeing
I
really
hate
the
it.
Kings move in general, but especially newer pullers doing it.
I think there's like a flow to a match. It took me about 3 years to understand it. Some guys, like new guys, will just try to do like one move, and that's all they do. And they like Clint that we train with up there. He's like, I'm just gonna do my move, and I'm like, well, if that don't work, what are you gonna do, Clint? And but just getting that flow, just that natural feeling, like Billy was talking, just understand what you got to do. When you can't do your move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
just
have to
stuff that
have
comes natural to us because we've been doing it a while. But,
Yeah,
the resourcefulness
absolutely.
of what you have to be able to do if your move doesn't work.
exactly.
Like I've been really working with Scott Agulia, right? So he's got one move, right? And it's a devastating move, but
Yeah,
if
but it works.
you know, Scott has to understand where he needs to go from that spot. If somebody's able to stop him, it's not a whole lot of people, but if it does happen, okay, what are you gonna do? So we've been really working on his positional awareness, elbow position, pressures and everything, and he's getting a whole lot better. So and all the new guys that I take and I train, it's all about learning. People want to get these practice wins and everything. Yeah, sure, they're fun and everything, but
Yeah.
It doesn't
actually
mean anything. I mean,
learning how to arm wrestle, man, that's the number one
Yeah.
important thing. You got to understand where you're strong, where you need to work on, the pressures that you need to apply in different lanes and positions. And a lot of the times, in my opinion, all these new guys, they just want to keep their arm out here. Like, it's crazy. They want to pull here, they want to pull here. In reality, they need to be here. And that's
it's a
all I
very
do.
uncomfortable feeling too. I mean, like when
For a
you're
lot of
first
the new
starting to
guys.
arm wrestle,
Yeah. I
it's
just tell
off.
them to keep everything as tight as possible, and it works from there. You battle from your strongest position, not your weakest position out here.
Right. Yeah, and I mean you're gonna wear some L's. Like you're gonna lose some matches understanding, just how to get better and it sucks. I mean, you'll lose a match and kind of sit there and say, why did I try to hook that guy? Why did I try to top roll that guy? And in a tournament especially, you don't get to pull that guy again unless you meet him in the finals or unless you guys somehow meet on B side. Like, so a lot of times it's one and done. You're losing to this guy, and that's just it. That's how you learn. I feel like you just constantly have to arm wrestle, and I feel like tournaments are the best form of live practice too.
Oh yeah, 100%. And to be honest with you, the tournaments, they're the best opportunities to get these matches for these dog fights and everything. Man, everybody's like, oh, I lost to that guy. Hey, can I get a match in a dog fight and try to redeem myself from that horrible loss that I had because I was sleeping on the go?
Yeah, I always tell people at the beginning of your career, go to as many tournaments as you can. And then usually like as you get better, then you can start doing the super matches. But that's another good point, Billy, is if they are doing tournaments and somebody beats you, now, hey, let's settle it at dog fights. Let's do a one-on-one. So it almost, it all works out together.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a cohesive, circle of arm wrestling that we have, and I was thinking this today. I was like, in my community of arm wrestling, I could care less about elite arm wrestling. I really could. I could care less on what happens over in Turkey and all this other bullcrap. I tell you what, we have such a unique and fun atmosphere just in our small state. We have a lot of awesome events, a lot of good pullers. It's entertaining, it's fun. I don't have to look to the elites to be entertained. It means I don't need it. I look at our guys, our training guys, like we said earlier, we're invested in these guys. It's entertaining for us to be involved with all these younger pullers and everything. It's so much fun. So much fun. I would rather see Nick Siri and Tracy Hare go at it than Levon and Devin. I can care less about it. I want to see Nick and Tracy. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because I'm invested. Do I have anything invested in those elite guys? No, not one bit. I could care less. But yeah, we got such a fun community, especially in Ohio, in my opinion. We got a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into their events. Mr. Kevin Palco, everybody in Toledo and Randall and all his events. And, we got stuff going on in Columbus, East Ohio. We got such a great amount of people in our community. It's awesome. I love seeing it. Now we got a bunch of nationally ranked athletes out of Ohio, which is so awesome. It's so awesome to see.
I think that stems to Ohio being such a competitive state for arm wrestling too. I mean, every weight class is pretty well stacked. I mean, I started in the 98s, and that's a really stacked class before I went to 220. I mean, there's a lot of killers at 98. There's killers at 220. There's killers at 242. Every weight class has a lot of good competition, and really the surrounding areas too, like Michigan, the surrounding states, Pennsylvania, even Kentucky, because if you go to a tournament down in Kentucky, you have some Tennessee guys come up. I think this side of the country is just stacked with good pullers, and that's what's going to produce a lot of the high level guys, a lot of the nationally ranked guys. And
I know I know a lot of people bitch about the Ohio rankings, but like that, I think that was great for us because before you go to a tournament, there'd be like hundreds of guys. You don't know who's who, and now everyone in your weight class. I mean, you know where they're at.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Even if it's not to the T. Oh, this guy is number 4. Well, he's at least number 3 or number 5, so it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect ever, but you got somewhere to go. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
that's
gave
why
everybody something to work for.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I was always someone that wanted to keep that 10 through 20 on those rankings, because a lot of the times those 10 through 20 guys are the lower level pros or the higher level amateurs that really give them something to look forward to, something to train for, some name to shoot for. Okay, is this guy, is it a favorable matchup? You know what I mean? I know he's 4 spots ahead of me, but I know that he maybe doesn't have a good top roll. So maybe I could top roll him and get a win and move up that ranking via the way that I'm able to pull or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it gives these guys something to work towards, because in reality, most of us are not doing this for a living, right? None of us are
No.
getting paid to do this. This is just a glorified hobby, and we do it for the fun of it and the love of the sport, right? So, it's just so awesome that guys are actually putting the time into training and trying to get better at the craft.
What other sport where these athletes will train day in and day out for their whole life for like as little outcome as we get?
Right. To be honest with you, I don't think it's such a little outcome. It's all up here.
Mhm.
The benefits are here. The
Mhm.
benefits come from our day-to-day grind on the workouts and training and stuff. It keeps us as men grounded.
Mhm.
It keeps us calmed. It keeps us focused. You guys probably understand this. If we don't have something to focus on, where is our mind going at that point? Right?
100%. Yeah.
Going in all different directions, right?
Yeah. Always
You're
have
not
I always
one
have a
thing.
goal.
Exactly. So
You have to.
in arm wrestling being a lot of people say it's expensive. I think it's the cheapest sport that you could possibly ever do. It
I
doesn't
mean,
cost
really, all
any
you
money.
need is a table.
Yeah. If you want, just pull it. I'm sitting at a white table. You can pull with this. Who cares? But I mean, you can make it as expensive as you want.
Yeah. People bitch about like the $35 entry fees and shit. I'm like, what? That's like nothing. I could care less if I know you like to give money at your events, Billy, but like I don't even do it for the money. $200. If I win $200, it's like, oh, big deal. I just do it. If I'm doing it for $200, I'm doing it for the wrong reason. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah, I do it because I want to prove to myself, hey, how good can I get at something?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You did
think
it
that
at
shows
one
competitive
point, right? You
nature
did
too.
it
Exactly.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You're doing it at arm wrestling.
Yep.
Everything that we do as men, we always have that in the back of our minds. How good could I actually be at this?
Yeah.
How far could I take this? How strong can I actually be if I really buckled down and focused on this? And it takes a lot of focus to be really good at this sport. Number one, just the time learning it. If you have a decent coach in arm wrestling, shoot, I'm thinking it's probably at least year and a half, 2 years to crack into like a pro, open kind of tier, right? You
I think it
at
depends.
least 2 years ish. If you have the right coach.
It's weird. I mean, you definitely have, like, I've been pulling for, this is my third year. I think when you talk about, prior athletes, somebody who may have came, a lot of like high school wrestlers, the discipline it takes to be a high school wrestler is through the roof. So guys like that can come to the sport and see, very quick progress. I think it's more of the guys that weren't so much as athletes in high school or athletes in general. They have a harder time kind of grasping things, that and coordination.
Yeah, because they've never had any kind of structured program. So they don't
Right.
know how to lift, they don't know how to schedule, program. They don't know. It's just, they don't have that.
Yeah, they've never felt the difference between, a tweak and an injury before. And in arm wrestling, that's huge. I mean, it's such a painful sport that half the
Yeah, 'cause
time,
we're always in
half the
pain,
time I
but
think I'm injured. Like,
yeah,
never know. But yeah, if you've never done any crazy physically demanding sport before, this sport hits you like a truck. And
That first 6 months will break somebody down mentally,
yeah,
like more than any other sport I've ever seen or been a part of. Like you could be on the football field, grinding out all day, and that pain, it really doesn't last, more than a couple hours after you're off the field.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
this first 6 months in this sport will bring a man close to tears.
You'll wake up in the middle of the night. I know I've
Dude,
woken up at 2, 3 a.m. My arm's throbbing. Yeah. Can't do anything about it. You go and stick your arm in the sink with ice in there and just
Dude,
let it sit there.
I made so many bad decisions on taking Tylenol and ibuprofen, dude. So
tried
bad.
that too. I don't think it
So
did
bad.
anything for me.
You
Honestly,
go to
like,
wash your hair and your fucking arms cramp up so bad.
Dude, I had to take at least 600 milligrams of ibuprofen just to fall asleep. That's after
Yep.
taking, 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen and 500 milligrams just to go to practice.
and yeah, and within that first 6
So
months too,
stupid.
you really learn. Like you learn what you should and shouldn't do at practice.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't just keep going to the table when you're gassed and letting people rip you open. That pain just doesn't stop. Like, it's
No, it doesn't. And
it's rough.
my thing was the recovery. Like the whole first year, it was the ibuprofen and Tylenol. That was my recovery. And then everybody's like, yeah, you got to do reps and lightweight reps and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll try this out. And then at the beginning of year 2, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, reps. And I can
Yeah,
save
just
my
blood
liver,
flow.
my kidneys. Yeah, what a great idea. My goodness. Now I'm doing like, for one workout, it's roughly about 17, 18, 1900 reps for one recovery rep or one recovery workout. But that recovery workout lasts me multiple days. You know what I mean? Like it's either like 500, 600 reps like every day, or that entire workout lasts me like 3 or 4 days. And dude, I'm feeling good 3 or 4 days. And then it might finally start, maybe if you kind of move a little bit different or something like that. Okay, maybe need to get some more reps in with some bands or something like that. But do 2 workouts and 1 table time a week. That I can survive on that and not have any pain and feel pretty good leaving practice without pain. Shoot, there was times where I couldn't even hold the steering wheel, my first year.
Yep.
Dude, that was so bad. So bad. You're freaking holding the bottom and your freaking arms shaking.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And it's
I know
still
you guys
fucking
have had
hard.
those. You guys that guaranteed I know you guys have had those drives also.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the way back from tournaments when you're driving 2-3 hours the next day and that pain really sets in.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well,
the
yeah.
worst thing in the world. And
Those are devastating. Those are devastating.
yeah.
Especially if you try to catch a press.
And I don't think, and I mean, I'm not like, now Kevin, you can probably correct me on this because you've pulled a ton in a hook. I pull in a hook, but I'm not a religious hook puller. The worst pain I've ever felt is the brachialis pain that flares up. It's just, it's awful. I don't know if the inner elbow is that bad. I've had inner elbow soreness, but not like
You can
pain
deal
like
with
that.
the elbow. You can't deal with the brachialis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the worst. And there's really nothing you can do about it. I've spent hours trying to figure out, routines. I've had my arm up against a wall with a tennis ball there, rolling it around, and placebo. I'm thinking, oh, this feels great, and then I wake up the next day and it just hurts again. So
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do.
I'm almost 10 years in this sport, and I'm still exactly not sure what it is. Is it microfractures in your bones? Is there a tendon there that flares up? Is it the actual brachialis muscle? I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, blood flow work, like Billy was saying, just super high reps and hydration has been a saving grace for me.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
the only thing I've been able to.
Cody, I'll have to send you my workout, what I do, and
Okay.
just give me your opinion on it, and maybe do one of these workouts and just tell me what you think.
Okay.
It might take
when
you. What's that?
When you do your recovery, are you doing recovery in form of like pronation and supination and?
Oh yeah. It's all
Okay.
listed and everything, and how many reps you're supposed to do, and you have X amount of sets available to get reps in, and then your weights are right there. Mine is really lightweight. It's like 30 pounds for three movements, and then all the other movements are like 15 pounds. But what I do is, for other people, if you're getting through like 50 reps, on one movement, okay, well, go ahead and up the weight to where you're doing like four sets of 25 or 5 sets of 20, whatever weight it is that you're getting at least 20, 25, 30 reps in, for a set, you want to get that lactic acid buildup in there and get it nice and warm and moving, you know. It just you feel so good after these workouts, in my opinion. I mean,
Well, no,
everybody's
I
got
mean,
their recovery
absolutely.
ways
You
that they
kill
do
two
things.
birds with one
But
stone, theoretically doing that. I mean, when you're training pronation, super high reps, when you're sore to rehab, I
yeah,
mean, you're also building the endurance of your pronator. You're building the
yeah,
endurance of your arm as a whole. So like, you're not just recovering, but I mean, you're still indirectly building too. So I think it serves two purposes.
oh, for
Um,
sure, for sure,
like you said, though, you can't, just throw 5 pounds on there to where you don't even feel it to begin with. You have to,
right, exactly.
do something. Your body feels resistance. There has to be some resistance, but
Yeah, yeah. So mine, I think, what I'll end up sending you for you, you're probably obviously gonna have to up the weight. My weights that I have on there now, for me, I'm gonna have to raise them up because I'm getting, 35, 40, 50 reps, for one set. So I'm going to have to up mine, but I just try to keep it generic, for the new guys that I send it to
yeah.
for trainings and stuff that I started to do. So by the way, if anybody's watching and a new guy that wants to learn and wants to get better at each movement, send them my way. I could use the help.
It's
But
awesome that you guys up in Northern Ohio have so many new guys that want to pull. I mean, down here in the Dayton area, dude, there's nobody that wants to get into the sport. It's
really,
heartbreaking, really. Yeah. I mean, you have the guys that have been in the sport for a long time. I think Drew Arthurson is one of the newest guys to the sport. I mean, he's been pulling for 2 years. Like, we don't have guys, left and right. And
you guys
it would
got
be
it set up at like the mall or something like that, like Kevin did at the college, and just let a bunch of frat guys whack on you for a little bit and let them get their ego boosted, and
Well,
then
I
they're
know
like,
yeah.
we set up down there at the college, and I know they got at least one or two new people to the club, or people that were at least
Really?
interested in joining.
there you go.
So
It's
And
awesome too.
we have a practice tomorrow. Down at they got these First Fridays events down here in Liverpool now. That I guess they have them all over the place or whatever. But like every First Friday, they have like a band playing and vendors and food, and then they let people drink on the street and stuff or whatever. But we're gonna take a tent down and a table down tomorrow night and just let people see what it's about. Just give the information out. I think I got like some coupons and stuff for like free arm wrestling training sessions and stuff, hand out some flyers, maybe sell some of those sweatshirts we still got left. So
yeah.
should
So
be a good time.
before I head off, Billy, the secret dog fights that we were planning for, I believe it would be number 8. So a representative from Rock and Roll City, Harley Davidson, they contacted me, and they're going to have bike night every Thursday for the next like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And so for the first 4 bike nights, they kind of just want us to come out with the table, set up as a vendor, introduce people to the sports.
Oh, that sounds fun.
The very last bike night, like the finale, is when they want to do Dog Fights 8.
Oh, sick.
So that way we'll have like 3 or 4 months of build up, introducing people to the sport, what it's all about. And then that last bike night is going to be the finale. And hopefully everybody is going to be like, man, we've been seeing this the past 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's
Now
good.
Yeah.
let's watch this actual event. So yeah, nothing's confirmed yet, but me and the marketing director, we've been going over this, and I'm going to have an in-person chat with her next week, and she is on board with it. So
That sounds fun. Which Harley Davidson was it?
Motor City Harley, I think it's in Brook Park, right
Park?
where Onyx was when we used to train at Onyx. It's
Okay.
basically right by that.
Awesome, dude. Heck yeah. Hour and a half, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you can make it at least any of them or one of them, that'd be awesome.
Oh, for sure. I'd love to be there for those, dude.
Yeah. With it being a Thursday night from like 5 to 8, I don't know how that's going to like work with people
Right.
like going to it. So as soon as I get like a confirmed date for the dogfight one, I would like to let people know that way if they have to take off on a Thursday or take off of work early, that they could
Yeah.
still.
Take a vacation day for Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, heck yeah.
But,
sounds like
yeah.
a plan.
I think it'd be awesome.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, even on Thursday evenings, you're mainly using that as just, getting people, used to the idea of, okay, this is what actual arm wrestling is.
Yep.
There's cafeteria arm wrestling, then there's real arm wrestling. So
Exactly. Yeah,
they got
that's
to understand what they're looking at. So
Yeah,
it's not like we're going to
that makes-
have a bunch of guys there practicing anyway. You're probably only going to have maybe one or two tables. And
right.
just mainly just, exposing people to the sport, which is awesome.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what we're doing tomorrow. We're just going to be showing people, what it's all about.
Yeah, you have to. It's
Dude,
the most important thing.
that's what makes Ohio awesome, man. People are willing to get out into the community and let people know about it. Like, this is a great sport, man. I've seen guys lose, half of their body, lose 200 pounds, come back from, being morbidly obese to, trying to better themselves. And it's not always physically, a lot of this is, it's so beneficial for men in general, man, so awesome. I see it so many times. You've seen it time and time again. The community picking each other up, the guys picking each other up and, reassuring them that, they're doing the right thing and, stick with it and you're doing good and all that stuff. So many other sports, dude, guys will just walk by you and, brush you off and all that stuff. And you're the enemy and stuff like that. And I've not seen it at all in arm wrestling. Crazy. Such an awesome sport. But so anyway, Kev, I know you're gonna be getting going. Go over everything real quick one more time for Dogfight 6 this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday, May 4th, event starts at 3 p.m. It's at Inner Circle Gym in Wellington, Ohio. 8 super matches, all good matches. This is open to the public. So if anybody's interested in coming, if you got friends, family, neighbors, anybody that's interested in watching arm wrestling, this is open to anybody. After the super matches, we always have a huge practice. So if you've ever wanted to try arm wrestling, if you want to meet the athletes, you're more than welcome to stick around. We will be there until the last person leaves the door. There is a $5 admission fee. However, it's the honor system. We'll have a bucket there. If you want to put in $5 to support us, we absolutely appreciate that. We're not going to have somebody at the door hounding you for money, but the donations do go towards the athletes. It helps them travel to the event, and it goes to a good cause. So we definitely appreciate that. And then we will have a few t-shirts for sale, Dogfight 6 t-shirts, and then just like generic Dogfight t-shirts. I only have sizes large and extra large though. Those are going to be $25. So make sure you bring cash. It'll be a good time. So
Heck yeah. So that's going to wrap up the lead up to Dogfights in this podcast. One other thing, I do want to give thanks to Grip Arm Sport. They paid for this Zoom for the year of 2024. So if you guys can go to griparmsport.com and check them out. Go to their Facebook and Instagram pages, give them a like and a follow. And, I think Adam's going to be rolling out the new website here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. He's going to do good things with that company. Also, thanks to the Kiwanis Club of East Liverpool, you'll see it right here. Big supporters of East Ohio Arm Wrestling. So give them a like and a follow on Facebook also. East Ohio Arm Wrestling in general, man, what a great group of guys. We got wonderful men in that group. Thanks to all those guys. Kevin, thanks for being on the podcast. Appreciate you going
Absolutely.
over
Anytime, Billy.
the event, man. Really appreciate it. Cody, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Your
joining.
input on everything. And Johnny, thanks for being here on the podcast too, man. Appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
no problem. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to Saturday. So
Oh, dude, I'm coming
I'm
up.
pumped.
Me and Parker, we're gonna be riding up.
Heck
Nice.
yeah.
So it's gonna
Good
be,
seeing
it's
you.
gonna be
Yeah.
a fun time. All right, guys, I
Sounds good.
appreciate you. God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
All right.
You too.
Same to you,
See
Billy.
you guys.
See you
Yeah.
Saturday.